And hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the RichOnItch podcast. Today,
Yes,
Riptide has returned.
yes, I am back for another week, and then I'm gonna be gone for 2 more weeks because I'm gonna be a loser and go actually vacationing like half the United States and stuff. And yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a loser for not being here.
yeah. So, as a result, we do have Riptide for this week. We might lose him partway through the episode, depending on his laptop battery. We'll see, but we should have him for all the episode.
We should be good. We should be.
Yes. But with that, let's us get started, and we're going to start with the quotes of the day.
Yes.
For the 1st
I'll
one,
let you say mine. You can say yours.
okay.
Wait,
So
I'll say yours. Sorry, I had a stroke there for a second.
all good, all good. Okay, so for Riptide's quote of the week, he said, "All I'm saying is that I've slept in a lot of beds with a lot of guys."
That actually isn't the entire quote. I forgot to write down the second part. The rest of it goes, and no, I'm not going to give you any context. And yeah, all I'm going to say is, yeah, I'm not going to give you any context. I am going to leave your imagination to take that as however you want to take that. I actually do remember the context. I actually don't remember the context, so I can't give it to you at this point. But what happened was, I remember it was relevant to the conversation. It's not just random. But I sent it with the intention of it is a message that could definitely mean, like, how do I put this? In the context, assuming the human mind was perfect and never wandered, then it would have been a fairly normal sentence to say in the conversation. But because the human mind wanders and inserts different things into that picture, as a result, I know what every single one of you that just heard that quote is thinking, and I sent the message with that full intention. It's not like I'm looking back on it like, oh, what was I thinking? Yeah, no, that was completely intentional. Anyway, going on to Mitch's quote for the week. Oh, well, I get 0 WPM in that case. Well, more like 0 WPL, women per life. Mitch, you're not a loner. Come on, man. You're not going to be a loner your whole life. You're good. You're fine.
We'll see. We'll see, man.
I mean, to be fair, that text only applies to it doesn't imply that you won't in the future, just as you don't have now. And that is true. Although, guys, actually, you know what? Ask me in my Discord server. Make sure to follow me in my Discord server, which you can find by going into my channel. If you ask me about the question that I could not tell you in this podcast, I will tell it to you there. But I don't think I can tell something about Mitch in front of Mitch. So, anyway, moving on.
Okay, cool. So then for our next segment, we are going to be talking about... okay, I didn't write this segment, and I honestly don't know what this means, so I'm going to actually let Riptide talk this one off. Oh, wait, no, I did write this segment.
You did write this segment. Why are you done?
Okay, sorry, guys. I had a massive brain fart there. Anyway, so for segment 2...
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're going
Translate
to
your
be
own
talking
mind,
about
please.
some of the stuff going on with YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what always happens here.
Look, man.
Adding. Let me read you the script, guys. I have no clue what Mitch reads here either. By the way, what I'm about to read you is all we have for basically every segment. The rest is completely unscripted and genuine. But what Mitch wrote down here is adding TikTok to some of the most stupid stuff that has nothing to do with TikTok.
Okay, I would have completely understand what I meant if I'd remembered what segment 2 was. So, one thing that happens a lot, I was looking at the trending page of YouTube trying to come up with something for this topic, and,
Okay.
like, in, like, the gaming section, there's always, like, some random video that's, like, doing TikTok memes in Call of Duty Warzone or TikTok in Minecraft or just random stuff like that. That's just like it has nothing to do with with TikTok, but
Yeah.
they still put TikTok to clickbait it and get the views from TikTok because it's one of the largest platforms in the world right now. So
Yeah.
they clickbait TikTok onto stuff like that to try and get the extra views, and
Yeah.
it annoys me.
That Minecraft and so here's the thing. What would happen in the past? Similar stuff happened like this in the past. Like especially back in the days when I watched all the popular Minecraft YouTubers like Preston Plays and Unspeakable Gaming. What they would always do is like when Fortnite first skyrocketed, when it first took off, all their videos were like drinking a chug jug in Minecraft. I don't know anyone who's ever made a video titled that before.
Definitely not at 3 a.m.
No, no, definitely, yeah. No one in this podcast right now made that title, not at all.
Nope.
But yeah, like they would have stuff like that back in the day when Minecraft was popular or Fortnite. The difference is that Fortnite can you can add mods and stuff at least to like make it so that Fortnite items are in Minecraft. Something like that. As stupid of a video as that would make, it still sort of makes logical sense. What would TikTok be? Would it be like a world of TikTok memes? Like,
Well, as far as I understand, what they do is they take a game like Call of Duty Warzone, right? And then
okay,
they do like if there's some popular TikTok meme, they try and do something related to that in Warzone. Like just stuff like that. It's insanely dumb. There's a reason why I said it was stupid in my description for it. Cuz it's like it's just stuff that has like you take two things that have nothing to do with each other and try and combine them. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't. And this is one of the cases where it severely misses.
yeah, yeah, no, it's super cringe. Like, obviously YouTubers clickbait the popular stuff, but why? Why TikTok? It's not like back in the day, when people were making plumbing tutorials or whatever was on YouTube in 2010. It's not like people were like doing Facebook while plumbing and or whatever. But now it's being applied to stuff like gaming, and I don't know. I don't know why you would clickbait stuff with social media, but that just shows like the magnitude of TikTok right now. The point where, like, people have never clickbaited with Facebook or Instagram, really. I suppose you could count Omegle in there, but let's be honest, that's not social media. Stuff like that. But TikTok's really the first thing that, like, you will get more views by having the word TikTok in your title. I feel like I don't feel maybe Reddit. That's another one. Can you think of any others, Mitch? But
I
like,
don't would having Reddit in the title get it more views? Cuz like even the channels that are devoted to doing stuff involving Reddit stuff, like they almost never have Reddit in the title. It's normally just r/whatever they're talking
yeah, yeah, true. Reviewing r/cursed or something like
about.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, you have a point. TikTok is really the only one,
It,
and you know, it's definitely just speaks to the magnitude. I personally am not on TikTok, but I do find some memes enjoyable on there. But
yeah,
yeah,
it's a trend I don't get. It kind of annoys me, but you know what? It is what it is. Why don't we move
yeah,
on?
I'm not for clickbaiting in the title or thumbnail. Like that's that when I said that, that's not a thing I was advocating for at all. Like to me, it makes no sense. It's stupid, and unless your video is legitimately doing TikTok stuff, it's most likely someone lying to the people that they're trying to get to click on their video.
Yep.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's our thoughts on it.
So for this
Uh,
next segment, I actually,
you
remember what
yeah,
this is
you
about.
do remember what this
I
is
know,
about.
shocking, right? Okay,
Yeah, I'm
so
proud of you. You've come a long way in 5 minutes.
Yeah, those 5 minutes really changed me. But
Yeah, brand new man.
YouTube has announced that for its homepage banner ads, it is banning ads for politics, alcohol, and prescription drugs.
Okay. I don't really see initially. I know that there's probably deeper stuff. The only thing I don't know. I'm for not having prescription drugs doesn't make a lot of sense to me because if it's like it's not like, an ad for meth. It's like prescription, legal
Mm.
drugs to help people. So I don't get that much. Alcohol I get. And political stuff, I mean, I get it's controversial, but you know, they're paying you to spread their message out about what they're all about. So I don't really get that either. What's your thoughts on this?
So I like the I same as you don't get the prescription drugs thing. But
Yeah.
in the case of alcohol, I think it makes a lot of sense. Having stuff like that on your front page is.
Yeah, I mean, people 18 plus can't drink, and if YouTube's allegedly supposed to be family friendly.
You mean people 21? I mean below 21 can't drink. That's
Yeah,
what I meant.
21. I don't know why I said 18.
You also said
It's
18
weird.
plus can't
I
drink.
I'm sorry, guys. It's been a really long day. I've been doing a lot of stuff today, and we're recording this in the evening.
What, you
So
gonna use that as
I'm
an
not.
excuse?
No, I'm
But
not. I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not gonna make the excuse. I'm not gonna make the excuse. I'm just explaining further to people,
mm,
like why I'm acting like I lost my brain in the week that I was gone. I don't know what your excuse is.
look, I'm tired too. I take the same excuse.
Okay, you know what? That's very fair. That's very cool. But yeah, what's your view on banning political ads without going too deep? Obviously.
So I think it makes a lot of sense from the stand. I get why they're specifically doing this for banner ads, because when you come onto the front page of YouTube and you see the banner ad, it's going to in some way you're going to relate that to YouTube as a company compared to with some of the other ads where it's going to be a little easier to make the
Yeah.
distinction. The banner ads, like, they come down, they feel like they're a part of the website more so than the other
Yeah.
ones. So,
Yeah. I can. Yeah. Sorry. Finish your thought.
yeah. So in my opinion, it makes sense for them to pretty much remove anything controversial from being allowed to be put in the banner ads, just from the standpoint of that way, it's not being related with them as a company.
Yeah. So while you're saying that, I actually realized I've been looking at this with the wrong standpoint the whole time. I was thinking they removed this for the sake of the people, but now I'm realizing they're removing it for themselves, which I
Mm.
don't have a huge problem with. But in fact, I don't really have a problem with it at all. But yeah, no. Now that I'm coming from that standpoint, all of these kind of make sense because for
Yeah.
alcohol, obviously, they don't want to be related with, you know, something that you have to be an adult to do because nothing else that you have to be an adult to do is really advertised on ads at all. Politics makes a lot of sense because someone from either side could look at that and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna boycott them because they're accepting money from all these places and running ads, yada 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 yada." Even though we both know that they run ads from, I don't know what politics is like in other countries, but in America they run ads from both of our political parties. But I totally understand with them not wanting to be associated with either on the banner page. Um, Prescription drugs. I don't know if that has something to do with like not being associated with big pharma or something like that, but I don't see why that would be. I
Uh,
don't get that one.
like, I don't really get the prescription drug
Yeah,
stuff, but I think to a degree it's because sometimes with some of these prescription drugs, like you note at the end when they're always like, you know, side effects may include death and, stuff like that.
yeah. It's just like the, they always have this medicine that like is to keep you from getting one thing, and the side effects can like completely ruin your entire life or take it. And I'm just like, well, I get you have to put that on there, and there's a very low chance any of those things are happening, but still, it's a bit concerning.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
yeah,
any more?
I kind of get the prescription drugs thing, but it doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
Yeah, I don't get that. Like, obviously, you're not going to be running ads for illegal drugs or anything like that. But again, prescription drugs are simply people may misuse them, but that's not your fault.
Yeah, and prescription drugs aren't like I don't think there's many of them that are like available in one state but not another or anything like that. Like in the case of stuff like weed.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they have a reason for it that Mitch and I just don't know. But
Yeah, probably. It is mostly just speculation on our parts. Still really interesting. And then Riptide, you want to take us to our next segment?
yeah, yeah. Closing thoughts for this segment. Now that after we realized, after I realized you knew the entire time, that it was more of a we don't want to be associated with this, or this kind of thing. This mostly made a whole bunch of sense to me. So, yeah, good for you two for, trying to not associate their name with all that stuff. Anyway, moving on to segment 4. And if you guys are new to the channel, what segment 4 is we have the stuff of the day, or what happened this day in history. So, additionally, to this is like continuing the train from last week. We actually had 2 historical events that happened last week, so I decided to throw 2 more in this week. So, starting off with the first one, this day in history in 1215, King John of England sealed the Magna Carta. Hopefully, I said that right. I'm pretty sure I did. So, yes, the Magna Carta, in short, is a bill that the king signed limiting his own rights and, giving more rights to everyday citizens in England. Mostly, I believe it was the nobles that got rights over the king, but yeah,
Still something very
that's
interesting.
yeah, happened this day in 1215. And the Magna Carta goes beyond the Magna Carta. It went on to inspire America's constitution, the constitutions of a bunch of other monarchies in Europe. So, yeah, and the Bill of Rights, and yeah, no, that the Magna Carta definitely inspired a lot of things about that. A lot of ideas that were very new at that time, like limiting the power of the king. Um, and yeah, the second thing that happened on this day in history was this one's really cool. George Washington. It's not really cooler than the last one, but George Washington was named Commander in Chief of the American colonies by Congress in 1775, the year before America declared independence. So, yes, very cool stuff. George Washington, obviously the first president of the United States, played an instrumental role in helping it to declare independence from England. Your thoughts, Mitch?
Very cool. George Washington's somebody that, everybody in America pretty much is taught to look up to from a young age. He was a, pretty cool guy. Commander in Chief, man.
Yes, he was named the very first commander in chief. Fun fact about George Washington that I'm going to throw in here, since I'm pretty sure we're going pretty fast on this episode. Mitch, how long have we been going?
18 minutes.
Oh, we're way ahead of time. Mitch, you and I are going to have to talk our mouths off in the coming minutes.
We usually go pretty fast for the first half.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, guys, fun fact, George Washington was not forced to leave office after 2 terms. He voluntarily did it because he didn't want, America to be a one-party state, basically. So he left office after 2 terms so that we could have a circulation of rulers. So that the max the president could serve was 8 years. So yeah, just a quick thing that happened there. Mitch, I believe that you covered segment 5 today.
Yep, so we're going to be moving on to segment 5 for news going on in gaming. Now, E3 has happened. I believe as of us recording it, it just finished up Monday? I think it finished up Monday or Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, I think it finished up today. So I think it finished up Tuesday. Um, and some interesting news has come out of that. The new Halo game is coming out, Halo Infinite. It is also rumored to have free multiplayer. So if you want to play with your friends, you should be able to do that for free. I'm pretty sure if you want to get the campaign though, you're still gonna have to buy the game. I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I'm honestly not that sure on what's going on with the new Halo game, but it's pretty cool that the new one's finally coming out. It's been a long time since the last Halo game. Now, the next thing that happened is the Half-Life creator, Riptide. Do you know much about Half-Life?
No, I don't remember much.
So I never played the games or anything like that, but they're a really big deal to a lot of people, and people have been waiting for Half-Life 3 to come out for forever. So the creator of Half-Life shows up completely unannounced, like completely by surprise, and comes up and announces that he's going to be talking about a new special game, and it's not Half-Life 3. He totally just messed with everyone. Because everybody was like, oh, it's going to be Half-Life 3. And
that is a shame.
Yeah, so
Bruh.
People were pretty upset about that one.
Dude, you got me all hyped up. Like, I was about to be like, bro, I never played Half-Life in my life, but all I know is that, like, when something like that happens where it completely, this kind of won't make sense when I say it, but I'll explain. When a completely unannounced announcement comes out, it's really exciting. And what I mean by unannounced announcement is that a lot of times what will happen, especially with gaming companies or like movie companies, is that they'll be like, at halftime during the Super Bowl, we'll be showing the very first teaser trailer for, the new Star Wars movie or, whatever, something like that. And the same goes with gaming, except it's normally at gaming conventions and whatnot. So I was about to be like, dude, that's so hype that, he showed up unannounced and he's going to announce this new Half-Life game, which is a big deal to a lot of people. And then I guess you didn't ruin it. I won't kill the messenger here, but the creator of Half-Life trolled everyone, apparently.
Yeah. So yeah, that stinks for a lot of people. Like, I'm not super disappointed about it, but it was pretty cruel to have the creator of Half-Life show up suddenly and unannounced and then be talking about a game that's not the next Half-Life.
That is extremely, like, I do respect him for it. I gotta admit. Like, I respect him for that.
Yeah. So then next, Riptide. Have you ever played Breath of the Wild?
Yes, I have. Very limited capacities, but I know what it's about.
So I've played a little bit of Breath of the Wild, but the most time I've had experiencing a game similar to that is, I guess, I played some Genshin Impact, and it's like Breath of the Wild if it was an MMO instead of a single player game, essentially. So a bit more combat oriented and stuff like that than the original Breath of the Wild. But I'm getting really sidetracked here. But during E3, they announced that the new Breath of the Wild game, Breath of the Wild 2, I'm guessing they're going to call it, but who knows, is coming out 2022.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know. It's a Zelda game, and I know your sister really likes Zelda, so I'm sure that she's excited for that. If she plans on getting it, I don't know.
She'll probably get it.
Yeah.
And then, next things, there's a lot of rumors going on, nothing confirmed, that Elder Scrolls 6 is possibly going to be coming out due to some stuff that went on during the Starfield trailer. Like, apparently, there's some things that were hinting at a possible Elder Scrolls 6 release, but who knows? Maybe it'll even be announced by the time this comes out, whether or not that's happening, but gonna be very interesting to see if we hear anything about that soon. Skyrim has been such a massive game, though, that anything they do for a sequel is going to come short of expectations.
Yeah, no, they've been going for a long time, man, and they got a lot of people who play it.
Yeah,
like I feel like Skyrim is one of those games. You know, there's some games that like they bring people who wouldn't normally be gamers into the gaming world.
Mm.
For some reason, Skyrim is just one of those games. I know so many people that play Skyrim that I'm just like, you play video games ever? Oh,
I, the villager
hello
wants
there.
to. Yeah.
Yes, the villager wants to discuss. Mr. Villager, what are your opinions on Skyrim?
Huh.
Very good, villager.
Yeah.
Anyway, where I was, the Skyrim brings a bunch of people that I really wouldn't expect to be gamers at all into the gaming community. I don't know why that is. It must just be something about the how the game works and whatnot. But
Yeah, it's kind of a gateway game. It gets people who haven't really done much gaming before to get into it and to show interest in gaming, which is always nice to, see those sort of games might be getting a sequel. Now, like, I feel like it's kind of the same thing that, like, once they do finally announce a next Elder Scrolls game, it's going to be kind of the same thing as, like, what was the name of the game? Cyberpunk?
that was. Are you talking about the one that had like super hype trailers and everyone was super excited for it, and then the game was like a meme?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Cyberpunk 2088.
Yeah, so, like, I feel like, games like that, like, and, like, the possibility of a GTA 6 and stuff like that, where there's just going to be too much hype behind it that even if they dropped the next Super Mario Bros., it still wouldn't be enough to satisfy the fan base.
Yeah. No, I do admit that fans' expectations get pretty high for games, like sometimes unrealistically high.
Yeah.
And with Skyrim having as big of a fan base as it has, I'm sure that if there's going to be a sixth one, that they're, it's going to be expected to be fairly top of the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we said, nothing confirmed about Skyrim 6 or Skyrim
Elder Scrolls
6. Elder Scrolls 6. Am I correct? Nothing's
nothing's confirmed yet. Just some rumors based off of other trailers.
Yeah. Man, so much happened this week. Normally we struggle to find like one game update.
Yeah.
Apparently there's the Slime Rancher 2. I've never heard of that in my life.
You've never heard of Slime Rancher? Okay, so Slime
Nope.
Rancher, it was a pretty big game when it came out. It was like I watched. I never got the game, but like I watched a lot of YouTube videos of a dude playing it.
When did it come out?
It's been a couple years now. Like 2017 was it?
Yeah, I will have just then been getting into computer games.
Yeah.
So
But basically, you collected slimes. When you feed them, they give you stuff that you can sell, and you create pens, and go through different areas. It's kind of like a mix of a farming exploration game, and then eventually you can hit the end, etc. It's a interesting game. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. So, having the next one coming out. I don't know when it's coming out, but just the fact that a new one's going to be coming out. Man, that villager really likes it.
One moment. That's just kind of yeah. And we're good. We're good. Nothing happened here.
But so yeah, the new Elder Scrolls game. I mean, sorry, I'm getting caught up with these things. The new Slime Rancher game ought to be interesting. I hope they do a good job with it. I hope it's longer than the first one was.
Was the first one short?
Like, it had lots of content, but if you were just playing to reach the end, it's only like it would only take like 2 or 3 hours to play to the end if that was the main thing you were focused on.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I've heard a lot of good things about it. Must be a good game, so pretty exciting. Yeah. And then this next thing is a really big thing for me. Ubisoft announced that Rainbow Six Siege is going to be getting crossplay, I believe, early 2022. Or wait, Is it early or mid 2022? But yeah, point is, at some point, Rainbow Six Siege is getting crossplay between consoles and PC, and it's also coming to Stadia, which I didn't even know people use Stadia still. I thought that it kind of died, but
Yeah.
but yeah, so it's always cool
Sorry.
to see games being crossplay, especially with stuff like Siege. Now, the only thing about it is, as a Siege player, I'm gonna express my concerns here really quick. So, one of the things that PC players make fun of console players for a lot is the fact that there's aim assist on console. Now, if they're having crossplay, the only proper way to do it, in my opinion, is you can't really have aim assist if you're having a crossplay
Yeah.
game. It's just unfair to have aim assist for console.
Okay,
players.
so right now console and PC are not.
They're
They're
not
on different
yeah,
servers.
yeah. You
and
can't
stuff.
play from console
Okay.
to PC. So like,
I was aware of that. I also wasn't aware that console had.
that they even had Siege on console. Oh, aim assist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I cut out for a second there.
yeah, you did. But yeah, like it works for console games, but I don't know. I'm kind of worried about it. Now, I've also heard though that even with aim assist, like if somebody on PC plays somebody on console, oh, we lost Riptide here.
Oh, bruh.
But if somebody on console plays somebody on PC, the PC player will win almost every time. Like apparently somebody made a port over where like basically they had a way to plug a keyboard and mouse into their Xbox, and they went on like an 150 game winning streak
Wow.
in
That's
ranked.
crazy. In ranked.
So yeah, it's the sort of thing where it's like, the best players at PC are going to completely annihilate the best players at console every time. But I don't know how like the more mid-level matchups will work and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting to see. As long like I'm kind of worried about how it'll go, but I'm kind of excited for it too at the same time.
I'm worried about how it'll go for the poor console players. Like,
well, I'm also pretty sure the person who had a set 135 win streak is like a champion level player in PC, so that's like top 5,000 in the world, I believe.
yeah.
So,
Well, obviously, if he went on a 135 game winning, did you say you plug that into console, right?
yeah,
Like, yeah, like you would obviously still have to be good at PC because at the point you're plugging in a keyboard and mouse to your console, it's basically a computer at that point. But anyway, yeah. Also, Rainbow Six Extraction.
yeah.
Did you
September
cover that?
16th. No, we haven't covered that. So
What is that?
the new Rainbow Six game's coming out 16th. I'm pretty sure. So, like, I honestly know almost nothing about the game besides it's coming out on September 16th. So, it's going to be a Rainbow Six game. So, might see some familiar faces from the other games. Maybe not. But, yeah, Rainbow Six Extraction's coming out September 16th, whatever that means.
Okay, well, hopefully that's a good game. Hopefully, the Rainbow Six community can get another good Rainbow Six game. Man, I haven't played Halo in forever. Kind of jumping back to the beginning. I just want to note that it's the last. I think I played it back in like 2012
It's
at a
been
friend's house.
it's been like 4 or 5 years since I've seriously played Halo.
Yeah.
I was pretty good at it at one point.
Yeah, it's cool enough, but I don't know. I don't get to play it very often mostly because I don't have it. But not my favorite shooter game from what I remember, but it's probably changed so much since I played it in 2012 or whenever I played it that my opinion on it is probably pretty obsolete.
It hasn't really changed at all.
Okay, well,
I think Halo 4 dropped like 2014, something like that, and that's the like newest Halo game. There's the Master Chief Collection, which has some solo stuff, but which added some new single player stuff, I believe. But I don't think there's anything new multiplayer wise since Halo 4.
But they're making a new Halo game then.
Yep.
And they haven't done anything. So this is going to be 7 years later since the last time they dropped it. Do you know how big of an upgrade that's going to be?
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly 7 years, but it's something like that.
Yeah, it's close to that if it was dropped in 2014. And like the quality of gameplay is. Do you know who owns Halo by any chance? Are they like independent? I'm sure they're.
Pretty sure it's Microsoft.
Bigger. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right because like when you have your Windows Home open, and it's
it's Microsoft.
It's Microsoft. You're right. I'm kind of surprised that a new game hasn't been released since Microsoft owns it because.
Because it's Microsoft.
Say what you want about their fan interaction, but I feel like they keep most of the games they own fairly up to date. That being said, actually, you know what? That was a pretty stupid thing to say. That's not true at all. It only applies to Minecraft.
And even then, Mojang Studios is still pretty separate from Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft just gets the money part of it, and Mojang is still developing the game, but. Anyway, yeah, wow. Huge section this week about game updates. Normally we're struggling to find one, but this week there was no issues whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking about throwing in a new segment. I'm going to throw Mitch a curveball here. I'm thinking about putting in a new segment. It's a very short one since we don't talk about it. Actually, you know what? So, Mitch, here's my idea. I'm going to tell you this idea for the first time on the podcast. You can tell me if you like it or not. What if we added a segment where it was the question of the week, or the question of the day, what was your favorite meal today? And you and I could answer it. And then we could also encourage people in the comments to answer it. And that way we would also have more stuff for the 7th segment.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, well, we'll do that now then. Should it be what was your favorite meal today?
I mean, since I'm kind of being put on the spot for this one, I'm good with that.
Yeah, sure. What's your favorite? Guys, that's a question of the day. We encourage you to tell us in the comments below. What was your favorite meal that you had today? Tell us what you had. We'll be excited to see all the tasty things you had, and your comment may even get featured in the 7th segment of the next podcast. I guess I'll be... Nah, you answer first, Mitch. What was your favorite meal today?
So I've only eaten 2 things today because that's kind of been my life. I just kind of eat lunch and dinner. I don't really eat breakfast.
Yeah, me too.
But,
except I eat breakfast and lunch.
Yeah, I think fajitas. I had fajitas for dinner.
Ooh, nice.
Some good old fake chicken strips and black beans.
Yes. By the way, for those of you who are new, Mitch and I are vegetarian. So yeah, I went to my favorite meal actually was I had Chipotle today. I love me some Chipotle. So yeah, I got a burrito bowl, had some of them nice fajita veggies with it, got all the salsas because that's what you do at Chipotle. Had them beans, had them rice. No meat or tofu though, because vegetarian life. And I'll give you guys a little secret. I know plenty of vegetarians who aren't big fans of tofu at all. Sometimes, we all eat soy meat. That is very true. But, people assume that we all, love raw tofu and, substitute it for everything. But I'm just going to tell you, that's normally not that true. At least for me, anyway. And I know a couple of other people that feel the same way. I don't know how you feel, Mitch.
So it's been a long time since I've had tofu, but because... I don't know. I just prefer to not put it on. But all I really remember from the last time I had it was being very underwhelmed. Not disappointed. Not oh, this is disgusting.
Oh,
but just kind of just kind of being very underwhelmed with it.
Tofu is super overrated. I'm not a huge. If it's seasoned just right or fried with something just right, I like it. But most of the time, I don't get tofu, so that's why I didn't get it in my Chipotle. However, I did get my noodles yesterday, but we're not talking about yesterday's meals. We are talking about today's favorite meal. So yes, make sure you guys tell us in the comments what your favorite meal was that you had today. I'll have to remember to add that to our list segment, that new segment, since it seems like a fairly good one to have in there.
Yeah.
But Mitch, I say it's time that we move on to segment 6, where we are going to be getting probably this is probably the most serious segment of this particular episode. This is the sports segment. Today we're going to be talking about international sports news, but it's a bit about stuff that went outside of sports. So Denmark and Finland played a soccer game in a tournament sometime this past week. I believe it was on the 12th. And Denmark has apparently a really good soccer player on their team named Christian Eriksen. And he was about to receive a pass with the soccer ball. And as he was about to receive the pass, he stopped in place, completely collapsed at that moment, and was just immediately unconscious. So after looking at him for a bit, the medical staff that of course rushed onto the field, because here's the thing, no one was near him or anything. He didn't trip over anything. No one was anywhere near him. Like, this guy just fell over and was instantly unconscious. So he obviously sadly had to get taken out in a stretcher to the local hospital there, wherever they were playing. And after they analyzed him, they found out that at the age of 29, he had a heart attack. He went into cardiac arrest. Luckily, today he is recovering quite well from what we hear, as you would hope from a 29-year-old who's fairly healthy and went into cardiac arrest, so that is very good. Sadly, though, we don't know if he will ever be able to play again. And if he can play, when he will be able to play again. And they don't really know what caused it, I don't think, or at least the articles I was reading don't know. I mean, obviously, when it's a heart attack, it can only be a number of things that caused it, but I don't know what his particular problem was, like what he got a sort of blockage from. But yeah, he is okay. We are thankful for that. We are very thankful. But like, the main controversy behind what happened at this soccer game is that the refs said, you know what, we are going to continue playing the game. So they continued playing the game, and Finland went on to beat Denmark. Now, after the game, Denmark had complaints. Like, they were mad that Denmark was mad that the refs, continued the game after one of their teammates literally just had a heart attack on field. Finland, obviously people got mad at them for celebrating their win, but I'm just going to say this right now, that doesn't make much sense to me. Like, they can still celebrate their win and still be extremely saddened that someone from the opposing team went into cardiac arrest at the age of 29. Like, yeah, just because they're celebrating their win doesn't mean that, they don't feel for him or anything. But the main thing is, first off, do you think it was correct do you think the refs made a good decision that they should continue their game? And for all of those of you who are like super heated about this controversy, if you're out there, Mitch and I literally don't watch soccer, so we're speaking a bit out of our realm.
Yeah, but I feel like this is the sort of thing where you do play through. I mean, like, it completely, like, it's horrible that he had a heart attack, don't get me wrong, but yeah. I feel like in a situation like this, like, it's kind of unfair to Denmark if you continue the game from the standpoint of, after something like that's happened to your team, and you're going to be worried about him, and the players aren't going to be able to play at the same level.
Yeah, they're not going to be the same capacity, especially since apparently he was a pretty important player on their team.
But if you stop the game and go, we're holding it off till this point, that doesn't work for Finland. The problem is, regardless of what decision you make, it's completely unfair to one side. So I feel like in a situation like this, especially at a paid event, it makes the most sense since it's unfair to either side regardless of which way you go. What
Yeah.
makes the most sense in my opinion is to keep going from the standpoint of, all right, it's equally unfair to each side regardless of whether you stop the game or continue it. So then you
Yeah.
go off of the fact that fans paid a lot of money to be here.
Yeah, and
And
I actually completely agree with you on this because I think what the refs did is they went off of the standpoint of sort of a pros and cons situation, and whoever had, more pros was just whatever they're going to go with. So, Denmark, you continue the game. The pros are that, um, obviously the game will be able to continue, it'll finish on time, and it's basically just scheduling stuff. You won't have to reschedule the game or give people back their tickets or whatever. But the thing that is wrong with Denmark, and as we went over earlier, is they lost one of their star players knowing he had a heart attack and could very possibly die.
mm,
So in that sense, yes, it's very unfair to Denmark. But then let's go over to Finland. First off, it's unfair to Finland because it's, they're just nothing's happening to them at this point. Not saying that, Denmark should be blamed for had the game gotten, canceled or whatever. I'm just saying, they're basically over here, playing the game, and it doesn't make much sense to cancel it for the simple reason, Finland's going to get punished. I think I may have said Denmark. I meant Finland. Finland's going to get punished for, no reason. It's going to have to get rescheduled to another day. So, yeah, I think that the refs were just like, it makes a bit more sense to just keep this going. So, we're going to keep it going. And also, like, it's not like, the heart attack obviously affects both teams, actually. Because the other team gotta be feeling for him too. Obviously, affects Denmark way more because those
mm,
people had friendly relationships with him and whatnot. But it's not like a thunderstorm or something like something that puts both teams at risk. So therefore, they have to stop playing. So
yeah.
I feel like that's why they made the decision to go on.
Well, the other thing
Now,
is, if you delay it at
yeah,
all, Denmark then at that point has a chance to re-strategize off the fact that they're not going to have their star player, and they get to re-strategize, get a new game plan,
yeah,
blah blah blah. And Finland loses that advantage that they have from they're suddenly missing a key piece of their strategy, especially if he's as good of a player as it sounds
mm-hmm.
like he is.
Yeah. So I have two questions for you. Do you think Denmark would have continued about them, resuming the game after Christian was unfortunately taken away had they won? This is the most controversial question in this podcast today.
Okay, let's be real here. This is sports. Denmark would
Yep.
not have complained if they had won.
Yep. That's exactly how I feel too.
That's how
And
all
like,
sports works. Like,
yeah,
if roles were completely reversed, Finland would not have cared if they had won. If we're talking American sports, if the Packers lose Aaron Rodgers to something like that and we win the game anyway, we're not going to be whining about, oh,
yep.
you should have stopped the game. But if we do lose the game, then, it's a lot
We're
more
gonna
like,
be like, you shouldn't have traded him. You should have paid him. But then if we beat him, the fans aren't gonna be complaining. Assuming Aaron Rodgers leaves and we play him.
yeah.
So yeah, that's just how sports are. You know, you can call it wrong if you want. I'm not gonna call it wrong on this podcast, but yeah, that's just how sports work. People do not complain if they win.
Yeah,
That's
regardless
just
of whether right or wrong. Well, unless you're
it's
Philly,
how it works.
then you burn down your city even if you win.
Well, mostly just the Philadelphia Eagles and select soccer teams. But the last question for the segment that I think would be very interesting for us to go over um, is, the medical staffs of these teams. evaluate these athletes day in and day out to make sure that they're in, good physical shape to play, to make sure there's no injuries, etc. You would think that with all the physicals that these guys go through, that they would have been able to see the blockage, obviously, or build up that probably resulted in a heart attack. I don't know exactly what caused it. I'm just going to assume there's an artery buildup because that's what causes a high percentage of heart attacks.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, you would assume that the medical staff would have maybe found something. So if you were on the same team, would you still trust your medical staff after that?
I feel like this is the sort of thing where you can't really blame the medical staff all that much for it, because that's not going to be something they're going to be looking for in their physicals. But I feel like it doesn't change the fact that if you're a Denmark player or a Denmark fan, you're losing a lot of trust in that medical staff.
Yeah. Yeah, here's where I stand on it. First off, they're not going to be looking too hard for an artery blockage in a 29-year-old. That's just the human body normally does not have issues that would result in a heart attack at the age of 29. That's why it so often, unfortunately, happens in people that are a bit more up there in age. Yeah, second off, as you said, it's not exactly what they deal with, but they are supposed to evaluate, the entire body and make sure that everything's good to go. So it's a very sticky situation. I would say if I was on Denmark, I would definitely, maybe when I went to have my checkup, have them maybe be a bit more thorough or something like that. Overall, though, I definitely don't blame this on the medical staff. Like, you might say that maybe they could have caught whatever it was had they, looked a bit closer. But again, it's not their fault. They're not expecting stuff like this to happen in players.
It's a bit of a sticky situation and a hard question to answer, but
yeah, I agree. We'll leave that up to you guys. You can tell us in the comments below. So, segment number 7. Mitch, I'll let you lead out this one.
Okay, so for the comments this week, we only have 2 comments, but the first comment comes from El Boel, and he says, "Cool video, guys. Thanks a lot, man.
Yes.
Appreciate the support."
Yes. And keep in mind, these are comments from last week's video, which, by the way, I'm going to take this second to thank Blazer for filling in for me, and also Mitch, and then both of you for doing a great job on the podcast last week. I genuinely enjoyed it. I was hooked for the full, I believe it was around 50 minutes, correct?
Maybe I'll have to go get Blazer instead.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was concerned. I was just like, if Blazer's better than me.
just messing with you, man. I wouldn't trade you for anyone.
Yeah, I know, and I appreciate that you would keep this loser around. But I'm just saying, what I was thinking was like, what if he's better than me? How am I supposed to come back? Like,
I think we'd need a secondary source for a question like that.
Yeah, I don't think that's really one that we can discuss amongst ourselves.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it's great job, Blazer.
Yeah, anyone in the RichOnItch family would be biased on that one.
Yeah, true. We couldn't really ask Manta, Nightmare. We couldn't ask any of them.
Yeah.
Although we all know they'd be biased towards Blazer.
I don't know.
Manta Ray, because him and Manta Ray are 2 peas in a pod, and Nightmare because Britain.
Yes.
So that's enough said there. I'll also let you read my comment. This is my comment because we didn't get any comments. Guys. We need you to comment. It's an entire segment. We're dependent on it. Why wouldn't you want to get featured in a RichOnItch video?
Yes,
podcast, whatever it is.
While you're at it, while you're down there to, comment, make sure to hit the subscribe button on your way down if you haven't.
Yes. Already. Subscribe, share, and comment. That is our 3. We don't care about the likes that much.
I mean, it still boosts our ego. So if you want to hit the like button.
If you want to, you could, comment, share, subscribe, like, and turn notifications on. But because we're such nice guys, we're only kindly asking you or demanding you, however you take this, to do three things: subscribe, share this with your friends, and leave a comment. Because those are the three things that will boost our channel statistics the most.
Yep.
I'm not going to butter it up. It's for the channel statistics. However, we do, in all seriousness, we do enjoy it having more fan base to interact with because, a lot of you guys that, comment on our videos and whatnot, you guys become our friends. And that's no exaggeration. Like, that's just how YouTube works. It's a great place. Anyway,
Yeah.
Mitch,
Yeah, that's the advantage of having a small community, because once you get once you get to larger communities, it's not like that as much.
Yeah, small communities are, you may not be as big or as cool or as popular, but man,
but you could have close interactions with your fan base.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So
okay, so now after a surprisingly long just
I mean, it was an interesting thing. It's not often that a 29-year-old top athlete just has a heart attack. So
yeah,
I
was actually referring to the sellout segment, but
this. I thought you were going to be talking about after we talked about soccer for so long.
But yeah, after we sold out for so long, we're finally going to get to Riptide's comment. He said, "Soccer fans have impaled refs with steel poles before because they didn't make a call the home team wanted. Fan violence worse in other countries, in my opinion. Also, if you were going to bring up American football, why did you not bring up Julio getting traded instead?"
Yeah. What was that all about?
I didn't even know. I didn't even know he'd gotten traded.
This man's like brings up something about Aaron Rodgers, which was like, I mean, it was news, but it was no new news really. Besides, I think it was the thing about him not coming to OTAs.
He didn't come to mandatory stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, that wasn't near as big as Julio getting traded to the Titans.
Look, I didn't even know he had gotten traded. I didn't look. I'm just now hearing that he got traded to the Titans. I definitely didn't know that.
What? How did you not hear that Julio got traded?
I have been living under a rock for the last couple weeks. The only things I've heard about sports stuff has come from this segment right here, or not this segment, the previous segment.
Wow, so you've only heard about soccer. I feel bad for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, soccer's a great sport. Don't kill me. Which brings us to my comment, which we still haven't gone over. Oh wait, no, we did just go over it. We're good. Yeah, no. So I guess I'll tell you right now. Don't worry, guys. This isn't the sports segment. This is just between me and Mitch. So yeah, Julio Jones is a Titan. So now they have Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, and Julio Jones.
That is so terrifying.
Which take like 6 people to tackle each. So good luck being the Titans this year, guys.
Well, hopefully King Henry has another good season. You love to see it.
King Henry. I do love myself some King Henry. His hair looks like, not to knock him, but to totally knock him, his hair looks like he has a turd sitting on his back. I'm just gonna be completely real with you.
Okay, Riptide, enough dissing King Henry.
No, I love you, King Henry, if you're watching this, because, that's definitely a possibility.
Oh, yeah, totally. Okay, now moving on to the final segment, segment 8, YouTube rant time. Creators that classify as gaming channels, even though they're not, and they mostly do reaction content and hardly have any gaming content.
Oh.
And I know this probably hurts you, Riptide, because this was PewDiePie for a long time. And still kind of is.
Yeah, it still kind of is PewDiePie. And also, like, Cinnamon Toast Ken. I watch his videos a lot.
Yeah,
Doesn't he still classify as a gaming channel?
No, he classifies as a reaction channel.
Okay. Dude, I got tired of reaction channels, but Cinnamon Toast Ken never got old. Not for a second.
So, like, it bothers me when channels still classify as gaming. They still have all of their content set under gaming, but they don't actually post really any gaming content anymore.
Yeah, it's really strange when that happens.
Like, recognize that your channel has changed, and at least don't set your videos to be set to gaming when they're not.
Yeah, like, you're trying to attract a whole crowd of people because of the tags and stuff that you have, and then you're just gonna sit there and review memes about how to make chocolate pudding on TikTok in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
I get why people do it, but like, come on, man. It's to attract, more people to get a broader audience. But,
Mm.
eventually the people who subscribe to you, and I'm assuming you're talking about channels that used to be gaming.
Yeah.
Like channels that were gaming and slowly turned into a reaction channel and still have like gaming and their descriptions and tags and whatnot. Yeah, no, it annoys me too. But again, I feel like it's kind of left over from when they were a gaming channel. They never change it. I also feel like they keep it to get a broader audience of people.
Mm.
But like, it is sad because like they're moving away from a completely, a very specific type of people are going to be watching gaming content, which is gamers. Because trust me, I am friends with so many people and know so many people who don't care about games at all, and they think it's the dumbest thing ever. So like what makes the gaming community special is it's like it's its own breed of people, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like there's not, yeah, but yeah. Again, I think it's probably just left over from when they used to be gamers, and
Mm.
yeah, I definitely get why it bothers you though, because
Yeah.
as a YouTuber, I maybe clickbaited, and when I say clickbait, I'm specifically referring to like putting stuff in your titles and thumbnails that has absolutely nothing to do with what the video was. Um, I admit I probably did that in my super early YouTube career. But the videos we're talking about at the time, I had like 10 subs, so I don't blame myself. At that point, you're not your own you're not yourself on YouTube, if you know what I mean. You're trying to
Mm.
copy the people you've been watching for years and years. Like for me, I find that I used to be most like not Bajan, definitely not Bajan, Stampy and Preston. Stampy Longnose and Preston Place. Like when I first started out, I had a lot of theirs. I like tried to be chill like Stampy, but I had a lot of sort of sayings and like sort of overhypeness like Preston, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know
And
exactly
it
what you're talking
just
about.
didn't work. And I think everyone does that when they start out YouTube. But anyway, this is a whole nother track. Um Man, that was such a bunny hole. I don't even know where I was going with that.
But yeah, you kind of end up going after the creators you relate to. Although I will say that has almost nothing to do with the actual topic, Riptide.
Yeah, I forget how I got on that at all. Trust me, I had a good point, but again, it's it's been a long day. But
Long
again,
day.
no excuses, no excuses.
But yeah, guys, we would like to just thank you all so much for watching. We're losing Riptide again after this for um another 2 weeks. You said.
Yep, I am going to be gone the next 2 weeks, but don't worry, you guys will have the absolute curse of listening to my voice once again. After that, I will be back on July 4th.
So yeah, we're gonna miss Riptide, but we'll have him back before too much longer. Um, Not gonna give any spoilers on what's happening next week. Also, Riptide, give yourself a quick pat on the back. We made it to an hour plus. We actually accomplished our goal for the second time in the series.
We made it into an hour plus.
Yep.
Wow, I am proud of us beyond all belief. And my computer still has half battery life. Let's go. We could have gone another hour.
But yeah, with that, guys, we would like to thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you all, or I will see you all, in the next one. Bye bye.
That was so sad. Bye bye.